Hi guys, welcome back to Necole Perfection. So today I wanted to tell you all a story about how I was mistaken as a kidnapped child. So one day, in my neighborhood here in Arkansas, there's this place called the Murrah Center where kids and teenagers, they go and they play and, well, not play, but hang around and talk and this and that. So me and my little sister, I ain't gonna say her name or whatever, but we went there, and this was on a Sunday. And to speed it up or whatever, we were there hanging out for a little bit, and we went to this church. It was like around, summertime, vacation Bible school, this and that. So we had vacation Bible school, but this church that I went to, I ain't go to my church that I had vacation Bible school for. I went to someone else's, and it wasn't even supposed to happen like that. I was supposed to just be there and end up going home like an hour later or whatever, or two. And while I was here at this church, first of all, let me tell you how I ended up going to that church. We was there, and this man, he was like, well, I'm not gonna say like he a creep, but he was saying how his auntie and his mother wanted more members because they had like a small little church or whatever, and they wanted kids to come. At the time I was 15, my little sister was 13. And me and her and some other boys and girls had gone to the van or whatever. But at first he told us that he was gonna take us to this basketball court or whatever, and he didn't tell us about his mom and auntie church until we was already on the van on the way there. And we like, what's going on, but we were kids, we weren't really paying attention to it. So we went in and like I said, we was like there to, we were dressed up to go out to the Murrah Center, not for church. So I had on like some spandex and a crop. I had on a mustard shirt going into church. And everybody wasn't dressed for church. The boys had on the gym shorts with the mustard shirts and this and that. And we all in there, and we sat down, and at one point we went in the car and read a sheet of paper of what his auntie wanted us to read and sing and this and that. And in the mix of it, it was these other girls there, and I don't know, how some females can be messy and this and that, and they were saying, talking to us, all this and that. And one girl that was sitting down beside me, she got up. She got a quick temper, so she got up. She started cussing and this and that. I'm gonna pay attention to it like we in church. I'm not finna go to hell for nobody. So, but she didn't look at it like that. So she started cussing and doing all this and that. And they like kind of escorted her out the church, but they talked to her. She came back. We ate this and that, and they dropped us off back at the Murrah Center. So when we went to the Murrah Center, us and our group of friends over there, we were walking, to go home. And next thing I know, I see this car pulling up, and when I saw the car pulling up, it was a detective. It was a woman, and she let her window down, and she was like, "Do y'all know any girls by the name?" She didn't say our first name, she said Roberts. Any girls with the last name Roberts? And we was like, what does she mean? I ain't going to the car. It was some boys walking to the car, to see what she wanted. And then when she said that, they all like, and everybody looked at us, me and my sister. We was like, yeah, our last name Roberts, and she said her first name, all this and that. And we was like, oh my God, like, what's going on? And she was like, well, your mother had called the police saying that you all were missing and this and that. And we were like, oh my God. And then it made me think about it. She thought we was missing because we didn't never show up back at home to go to church for our Bible study. But instead, like, we went to church to Bible study. It just went hours. And even though we weren't intending to go, but, we having fun when you're young and you get caught up or whatever. And that's what we did. So I'm like, oh my God, I was so scared. My sister was scared. Like I said, I was like 15, she was 13. So we paranoid. We don't know what's going on. So we got in the car, And as she was taking us to our house, all you see is our whole block lit up with flashing lights, and we like, oh my God, this is like so real. And I'm just knowing that we both about to get a whooping and all this and then I'm just like, oh my God, please Lord. And I was so paranoid, I was so scared. I just thought of the worst things ever. And so while she pulled up in our yard, my mom was like standing right there on the lawn with my cousins and my grandma and her husband and all this and that. People, friends came over, and you can look at their face and you see, look like they been crying, and they was about to get ready to put us on Amber Alert for missing girls and this and that. And they had like my grandma's sisters down there, and they were all praying for us and this and that. And it was, oh my, that was so, like, that's a day I will never forget. And that was the longest walk I ever had from the car to the house. And then just hearing everybody say, oh, my mom named Lisa. She was like, oh, everybody was like, oh, Lisa, I know you go whoop them, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and that. They playing around, this and that. And like, we didn't think that she was going to call police. It's not how my mom is. My mom, after, we did get a whooping. My sister went first. When your other sibling go first and you next, there's just that rush you have. Your feeling like, oh my God, like you gonna catch it worse. Then I'm older, so, and it's hard for me to cry. So it's like my mom, she kind of like the person that if you're not crying while she whoop you, then it's not hurting you. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta cry, I gotta this and that. My sister, she usually easily to cry, so she cried and whatever, and she was done with her, and then it's time for me to go in. I'm thinking like, oh my God, should I run out the door real quick? And should I run away for real? Or just get it on over with? And so I'm walking up in the room, scared out of my mind. And remember, y'all, I told y'all I had on some black spandex, so that was it for me. She gave me a whooping, I cried and this and that. And, well, it was like with a switch. So, it wasn't like, I think it wouldn't have hurt it as bad if I had like jeans on or whatever. But that was painful. There was a whooping I will never forget. So, yeah, then after she got done whooping us, how you be mad at your mother, like, don't want to talk to her at the time. That's how we were. And then she wanted to give us a motivation speech on this and that, and how she knew that nothing went wrong with her because she didn't get the feeling in her heart. It just, she had to do that because the family was pressuring her about it, like, oh, Lisa, something be wrong with your girls and you not go call the police and this and that. And so she called them. And while they thinking we were probably getting kidnapped and raped and all this and that, we was at somebody else's church. So what she did was she took our phones. Well, she took my phone. My sister didn't have a phone at the time. She took my phone, and I was on punishment for 2 months. Couldn't go nowhere. That was so horrible, but ever since that happened, I kind of didn't want to go nowhere no more. Like, I was so embarrassed to go back to the Mirror Center because I was like, oh my God, I know everybody go find out about it, and they heard about it and all this and that. On my block where I stayed at or whatever at the time, it was like a small community neighborhood. So with all the flashing lights, police officers, everybody was going to find out. So I did not want to go back there, and I just ended up going to, the only place I went after that is to Central Park. And I actually saw them once again. They were asking what was going on, this and that, They asked me if I get a whooping, I lied. I was like, no, I ain't get a whooping. Like, she just busted us, yada, yada, yada. But that was horrible. I would never, ever, ever put that on anybody. And for the ones who actually did got kidnapped, like, oh my God, like, that is so horrible. I don't know how I feel, but whew. I wouldn't want to find out. And oof, well, that was the time. That was basically the time that I got mistaken as a kidnapped child. Like, I could have been on Amber Alert, and I was at church. It was just crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I learned, and I learned from idea I have, and my sister, I'm sure she have too. So we not doing no more. Don't forget to. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the video if you're new here, and follow me. Follow. Wow. Comment, and if you want, share. See you all later. Goodbye.